Hello everybody, welcome to Cobcast, where I tell you a story whenever I feel like telling you a story. The whole premise of this whole YouTube channel was to tell you a story every day. Excuse my hiccups. I'm not going to be able to do it every day. So right now, it's going to be maybe once a month. And if you're lucky, you'll get that. So I've been busy. I've been very busy, and sometimes you get the hiccups, right? I have a story that is actually more than one part, but I'm going to tell you. Oh, and I gotta stop myself for a second. I don't have my trusty barrel, so I'm sitting on my toilet seat because it's a different environment. This is my pooping corner. With my hiccups. Oh man, I wish they'd go away. So I had something happen today, and oh man, I've got more stories like this, but this is a good one, and that's a good hiccup, I guess. Which today was a hiccup. So I refine gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. And I apparently can't refine my hiccups. But I had a hiccup today. And I may or may not have made a mistake. That I should know better. I'm not saying that I'm a chemist, but I do know a lot about chemistry. And this ring, this is my prop for today. Let's see, can we get it off my finger? I'm sure we certainly can. This ring, it's 10 karat. Let me turn the light up. This is 10 karat gold. I cast this ring. It took me about a year of just saving scrap computer electronics to make a big old 24 karat nugget. And then I carried it down to 10 karat. I made all these rings, and I've got more. But anywho, I'm just gonna leave the light on, just like I made my hat, which I tried to throw on my head and look real cool, but that didn't happen. So I was refining some gold, and well, I learned not to do that indoors. So I made some chlororic acid. I'm going to try to back this up a little bit. You take, if you're trying to recover gold, if you're doing the recovery, you're going to take hydrochloric acid and then maybe some peroxide. Or, I mean, you could use nitric acid, but it depends on the concentration of gold you're working with. If you're just stripping, just some peroxide and hydrochloric acid. Just general peroxide. Your old brown bottle stuff you could buy at the store. So that'll strip it, and that's how you can recover gold. Well, in the last year or so, I have recovered gold. I didn't realize how many measuring cups I had. Because apparently I keep buying them, and I've had a couple grams of gold saved up in measuring cups that I put into a cupboard that I didn't realize that I'd just been sticking them in there. Well, I had a substantial amount of gold, and now that the gold has been recovered, I've got all these gold flakes. So what I did was I refined them, and I dissolved them with nitric acid and hydrochloric acid. That's what's called aqua regia, but once gold in solution, it's called chlororic acid. And I have a YouTube video on my other channel describing showing the process of how that works. And now that I have this chlororic acid, it's still yellow, but it's in liquid form. and I need it to be in metallic form to make it into a metallic form. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. So basically, what you got to do when you have chloroauric acid, you need to evaporate it down into a crystalline salt. So, like I said, if you know anything about chemistry, you gotta break it down into a salt form. Because chloroauric acid is very easy to break down into a dry crystalline form. Then, the process would be precipitation. But you have to rehydrate it after you dry it. Well, in order to dry it, you have to evaporate the aqua regia, which is the mixture of hydrochloric acid and nitric acid. And I make my own aqua regia. I make my own nitric acid. It's simple distillation. But in order to do that, you're gonna make some fumes that might be potentially don't do it indoors. So I pretty much fumigated my house. I had to open up all the doors and windows and turn all the fans on, and I don't even know how else to say it. Basically, I fogged my house out. And I'm gonna have to make sure that I put some oil on my motorcycle handlebars, and because my motorcycle's in my living room. I'm gonna have to go through and wipe off all the tables and countertops. And my house was a fog machine because I was evaporating chloroauric acid, but I was only trying to get rid of the aqua regia to make it down to the crystalline form of chloroauric acid, and then I can precipitate it. And the funny part is, I could precipitate that with, let's see, I could use sodium metabisulfite or copper 2 chloride or copper 2 sulfate. But I'm gonna do that outside. I learned my lesson. Do not evaporate acids in your house. Why did I do it? I don't know, but I did. And let's say my fume hood did not fumigate that out on its own. I had to open up everything and get every fan blowing that I possibly could to get that to blow out. So, stupid on my part, but, we learn a lesson every day, don't we? At least we try to. I've got a story for the next... God, I could probably tell one every week for this month. It's been, like I said, I've been busy. I'd like to share as much as I can just because I've been kind of lacking on everything. So I will stay in tune with you guys, and as long as you guys are hanging out and watching, then I'll still be here. And I promise you I won't do that again. I won't smoke my house out with hydrochloric acid. But I will show you the ring that I make. I'm really excited to see the amount of gold. I've been saving this gold. It's basically brown powder in jars that I've been saving, and every time I refine it, I just kind of add it together. I'm thinking I'm going to get a couple grams, and it'd be really cool. I'm going to melt it down on video for you, so maybe you get something out of it. I'll still be here, and I learned my lesson. Thank you so much for watching.